Okay, so this is going to get pretty meaty. Please let me know if we go too quick on this. It's really important that we understand this, okay? One of the very basic tools that we have as option traders, or really as stock or options traders, is this profit and loss graph, okay? This is a visual representation of what your investment does over certain price points. If you look here, you can see that we have Microsoft, and we're long 1,000 shares, and so you can see that the current price is this $16.90. So we'll break down each one of these sections. This brown line right here represents my profit and loss. So for each one of these horizontal price points, like 18, I simply come up to here, hit the line, go across, and see that I'm up $1,000 a share, or I'm sorry, $1,000 for the total investment. The graph on the left shows us our profit and loss. Notice that's not profit and loss per share, that's profit and loss for the entire position. Okay, so even if I had bought 500 shares at one price and bought 500 shares at another price, this would combine those two and tell me what my total profit and loss for the entire position would be. All right, how's everybody doing? Keeping up? Good?
Yes.
Okay. The price of Microsoft is demonstrated on the bottom horizontal line. You can see it goes from $14.50 right here all the way up to $19.25. And this particular profit and loss graph is snapshotted out of Thinkorswim, which is the broker that most of us use, and allows you to do these kinds of things. Lost my mouse. There it is. So we'll continue forward on breaking this down. You can see the current price of Microsoft is $16.90, right? This slice is what this is called. These vertical dashed lines are all called slices, right? This slice is what we call a live slice, live, L-I-V-E. And a live slice shows you what the current price of Microsoft is. Now, this was taken yesterday, so it could be up or down from that. It's probably up a little bit. The horizontal line, that horizontal slice, that live slice, shows us where visually that price is. In the left to right area that's bound by the horizontal graph, or the horizontal, what would that be called? Horizontal what? Horizontal axis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That gives us a visual indication of, on that horizontal axis of 1405 or 1450 to 1925, where visually is that price? And you can see it's almost dead center. These numbers up here show the probability, and we're going to spend a lot of time on probability probably in a couple of weeks, shows the probability of Microsoft being below the live price by expiration or above the live price by expiration. Okay. Notice that these are approximations, right? All things being equal, it should really be 50-50. So notice this is 41 and 49, or 51 and 49. So again, that's approximate. And this probability is for the price being below by expiration, expiration being the third Friday of March, or actually third Friday of April, and expiration here, of course, being third Friday of April as well. Any questions so far on that? I know we're going pretty quick. Nope. Okay. This line right here, this brown line that moves from your bottom left of the screen to the top right of the screen of that snapshot, that's really your profit and loss line. And so you can follow that line and say for any price given, you can simply follow that price vertically and come across to the horizontal and find out what your approximate profit and loss is on that trade. Okay, so you'll see me talk about that line a lot, and I usually call it the P&L line. So, for instance, if the price of Microsoft goes down, that is this live line right here, this live slice moves to the left, what happens? What do we know? Do we know what happens? What do you think happens, Gecko?
The profit and loss will slide down, so you'll be below 0.
Okay. So if we move to the left, profit goes down, right? And that makes sense. We lose money. If the price stays the same, we take the vertical here, go across, and you see that our profit and loss is 0, right? So not a lot of difference in profit and loss there. If the price drops $1, really this is like $15.80 and some change, take that to the vertical, go across the horizontal, and you see our entire position is down $1,000, right? So what's important to know is giving an estimate of where the price is going to be, you want to be able to calculate where your projected profit and losses are. The reason for that is that you want to have a game plan, right? You want to know that, all right, well, once my position goes down $1,000, I'm going to do something, right? And that something could be I'm going to buy more and dollar cost average in. It could be I'm going to sell and close my position. I'm going to sell half of my position, right? Or I'm going to hedge Microsoft with gold futures or something goofy like that, or NASDAQ or S&P. So it's just important to know that when you're option trading, you're probably going to spend, I would guess, 60 to 70% of your time inside of this tool or a tool like it. Some folks use OptionView to do similar things, and there are a couple other tools out there that I don't use. I've only used OptionView and Thinkorswim. So, okay. We talked a little bit about probabilities. You know, this 51% below and 49% above. Well, this sort of light blue shaded area in the center, what that's indicating is a 68% likelihood of the movement of Microsoft being contained within that area, okay? So that means 68% of the time from now until expiration, the price of Microsoft is going to stay within this area. So it's going to stay just above 16 and just below 1775, right? So 68% of the time, your likely profit and loss is going to be minus 1,000, a little bit more than, a little bit less than, and a little bit less than plus 1,000, right? So somewhere in there, 68% of the time, will give you some idea of where you are. Yep.
Question from Marlin72. It says
Yeah.
if price goes down, does that change probability?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the question is, if price goes down, does that change probability? In this tool, it does not, meaning that this probability square, this 68%, which is one standard deviation, will simply move. So what happens is, let's say we go from 1690 down to 16. Well, this whole square in the same width will simply move and recenter right here. Okay, so that's a great question. Remember that the Analyze tool doesn't know anything about fundamentals. It doesn't know anything about, you know, major market action, or about technicals. It doesn't know anything like that. It takes a pure approximate mathematical stance on where it thinks the price could be. So here's a question for the audience. How does it know? How does it know